Hello. Students, again we are here to discuss the last part of the chapter, Colonialism and the Countryside, the 10th chapter of your Modern India. We have so far discussed about the different policies, agrarian policies, agricultural operations in India. We have discussed particularly about Bengal. We have discussed about the Rajmahal Hills. We have also discussed about the western part of India and the Deccan. And yesterday we left the topic at the cotton boom. That cotton, which was the main concern for the Britishers, because industrial revolution had taken place over there, and a number of cotton textile industries were set up in England, and then this idea spread in different parts of Europe. So to feed their industries, British government wanted more and more raw cotton. As I told you that America was British colony, and they had established their 13 colonies in America previously, and from there they used to gather cotton and they used to feed their industries and they used to sell this cotton to the other parts of Europe. Okay, so cotton supply was very easy for the Britishers to get, and it was going on. But in 1861, when American Civil War broke out, this supply was disrupted. Okay, the amount of cotton bales, the amount of cotton bundles that they used to carry from America to the other countries and to their own country, that suffered a lot, and now they decided to switch over to India, because in 1857, about which we have a separate chapter, we will not discuss it here in detail, but in 1857 there was a mutiny, there was a revolt in India, and this revolt, although crushed, but after this revolt, Britishers were aware that Indians could be organized in future against the wrong policies of the Britishers, and this have to be checked at any cost. Because you know that in the revolt of 1857, most of the sections of the Indian society were involved. And this was a matter of concern for the government, for the British government. So in 1857, a cotton supply association was found out. Note it down, it is a 1-mark question, or it can be asked in objective type questions. A cotton supply association was founded, and this was to look after that how the amount of cotton, raw cotton, that is needed by the industries in their country, as well as to export to the other countries, how it can be organized, how it can be assembled. Then in 1859, Manchester Cotton Company, remember Cotton Supply Association was founded in Britain, not in India, because there they could work according to their own wishes. And then in 1859, after the revolt of 1857, Manchester Cotton Company came up, because Leeds and Manchester, these were the two areas of England, that is Britain, that were producing cotton for a very long time. You must have read about Manchester came to India. Yes, this is because their machine-made products, because at that time in India, khadi was popular. Indian cotton weavers also needed cotton, and they were producing coarse, C-O-A-R-S-E. Coarse means a thick, a rough khadi, and that was in great demand outside, because it was produced in cottage industries. By hand it was weaved, so it was liked by the rich people, by the elites. So that was also in great demand. So in 1859, Manchester Cotton Company came up, and supply of British cotton textile became very critical in India, and after some time you will see in the coming preceding chapters that khadi being very costly, people left buying that and began to buy the goods that were sent, the textile that was sent by the British government in India. In 1861, when American Civil War broke out, I told you, there was a panic. There was a disturbance in America and elsewhere. So during these years, Britishers decided to look into India, and they also decided that how they could organize the peasants to grow cotton for them, and all the cotton they should get for their own industries, for their own export. Correct? So, when this panic was created, some sahukars came up. Sahukars means rich people who were given advances, money from the government, from the company. They were given advances previously by East India Company, and when Britishers came to India, when India became their colony, then the government began to extend money to them. So these sahukars, they became very, very strong in the Indian society. They were given advances by the company and then by the government, and then they used to extend this credit further to the riots. Riots word I already told you, peasants. Riots were asked to grow cotton. They had little money to grow cotton. Sahukars were created. They were given advances by the British. After getting advances, they used to give them on the basis of, for example, in Deccan, give this example, very good example, in Deccan, per riot was given rupees 100. The value of rupees 100 was quite large at that time. For each acre of land where they are growing cotton, they were given 100 rupees. But remember that sahukars were not willing to extend a long-term advance to the peasants, because they had a fear, as it happened in America and other countries, civil wars, different wars were going on. So they were not confident that if they give a long-term credit to the peasants, whether they will get it back or not. Moreover, when the credit was given to the riots, they had to sign a bond. They had to sign deeds, bonds and deeds. Means they had no faith on them. If they could not write their name, they were asked to put their thumb, dipped with ink, put their thumb. And students must remember that at that time education was not so popular in India. So many a time there are many examples in the newspaper Bengal Gazette, the first newspaper of India. There are many examples in London News, about which I told you yesterday. London News, the newspaper that was popular in Britain. They were news that riots sometime they put their thumb on the deeds or the bonds without knowing what is written on it. They didn't know what is written on it. And reports came up to the British officials that sometime the interest rate is more than the principal amount. Principal amount means the amount which they have borrowed from the sahukars. And sometimes the interest was more than that. The amount taken as credit was in hundreds and the interest rate was in thousands. So all these came up during this period between 1860s, 1870s. All this was going on in Deccan. And we have a proof in Bengal Gazette, we have a proof in different newspapers published at that time. And credit dries up, it means that when civil war was over in America, again the same process. When civil war was over in America, again cotton was taken from America, and then again the supply from India decreased, and the credit also dried up, because when the farmers, when the riots, they had no work, they had no money, they could not either pay revenue or either they could pay off the credit with interest. So this was the problem in India faced in Deccan and in the western part of India. Because in the map of India, you know that the Deccan, the western part, these are the cotton growing areas, the peninsular region of India. You must have done in your map in class 10th. Here also you have to do the map work also. At the end, we will discuss that how the map of India you have to do, and you have to locate Bengal, Deccan, western parts, cotton growing areas, and how Britishers took the advantage of all this because of the ports facilities, sea routes, port facilities, because this was the only method, this was the only way to export raw materials from India to the other countries. Sea routes, correct? So These were the injustices. They were done to the people. Riots were unaware about anything, and day by day they were getting in debt. So Deccan Riot Commission was set up. Deccan Riot Commission. It was set up to see and to locate the different districts, that in which districts the injustices have been done to the riots, and what is going on by the Sahukars and by the other people who were extending loan to the riots, and what are the grievances of the people. For that purpose, a Deccan Riot Commission, this is also your 1 mark question and can be asked in objective types. So this commission was set up. It did a lot. Actually, students, why British government is doing all this? The memories of the revolt of 1857, the memories were very bitter, because although they were able to suppress the revolt, but with a great difficulty, and now they didn't want to take any chance that Indians could organize themselves and they could revolt further. So these commissions were set up. Time to time the reports were taken from them about the injustices, about the grievances of the people. But anyhow, the production of the other crops was discouraged in India by the British, and the production of cotton was encouraged. You must have read in your previous classes that cash crops, the commercial crops, they were encouraged by the British officials, and the other crops were discouraged, and that was the reason that why so many famines that occurred in India. Is it clear? Now in this chapter you have to do the map work. First of all, do it on the physical map of India. Locate the areas of Bengal, particularly pinpoint the North Bengal, the Rajmahal Hills. You can also show it through the arrows that from which parts these the officials of the East India Company, they came and settled over there. They developed the area. Rajmahal Hills, you can locate the communities, Paharis and the Santals, pinpoint it on the map in Bengal. Then come to the Deccan, come to the peninsular region of India. The peninsular region, you just roughly, the map of India, below the Aravalli ranges, it is peninsular region, and this is the area of Bengal. You can show it. First of all, do it in your physical map, and then do it in the political map also. So if any map comes in board, you are able to do it. So this is for today. This is the end of the chapter. We will meet again with a new enthusiasm, with a new chapter of history. Till then, goodbye.